Hello YouTube. I'm just making I'm making a video. It's gonna be a long video. I plan it to be a long video. For once, I actually plan it to be long, but it might end up being short because I plan it to be long. Um, as oh, I've got a very bad cold, so I'll probably sneeze or be scratching my nose a lot, or sniffling. Today is the 6th of June, as many of you know, and this day many people call it the Day of Days because the 6th of June in 1944 was the invasion of Normandy. Normandy is in France, and Normandy is, in France. Normandy beaches where the the Allied soldiers in World War II landed onto the beach to invade France and then to win the war in Europe. Um, the who was involved in the Allied invasion was the United Kingdom, United States, Canada, the Free French, Poland, Norway, and Australia. And on the Axis side, it was Germany, was the Germans. So, the idea was to land troops on beaches, or on the beach, but it was separated into smaller bits, so you would end up at least getting some troops through and at least end up surrounding one little bit of the beachhead. I'd have to draw you a picture, and I've actually figured out how I can put videos together now, but it's time consuming, and I want to make it for today, and it's 8:30. I'd probably be getting on tonight, which I don't want to do. So, these beaches, which were, the one beach that they were cut into was called Sword Beach, June Beach, Gold. Was Sword, Juno, Gold, Omaha, and Utah, and Point de Hoc. Point de Hoc wasn't really a beach head for se, but was a gun position that the Germans had at the end of the beaches, which strafed the whole beach. Which, you've got big guns that could sink ships out in the channel, and then you also had guns that could fire onto the beaches, which you don't want. So the American US Rangers went up to Point de Hoc and tried to, when I say tried to, they did take the positions, but when they got up there, German guns had been moved miles back, and they were taken miles back, so there was no gun positions. The American Rangers, when I say took the time, they didn't actually take the time, but were met with heavy German resistance. So when they did actually get up to the beach, up onto the Point de Hoc, the other Rangers, US Rangers, who was in the landing craft waiting to come up, were delayed, so they had to go to Omaha Beach. Omaha Beach, as many of you might know, was nicknamed Bloody Omaha because most of the troops died on this beach, and this was because the Americans were met with a lot of German resistance. Now, no one particularly knows why Omaha was so bad. The whole coast of Normandy was fortified and had machine gun nests and bunkers and machine gun pillars all up and down it, but this was particularly bad from what I personally know and personally think. I personally think that this beach was the worst because the American Air Force had bombed it, which the American Air Force, right to say they had precision bombing, but in this case obviously shows they didn't have precision bombing. So they missed the targets, and the Navy shelled it continuously. So if you're lying in bed and someone's starting to drop bombs on you and shell your house because someone's going to come and get you, then obviously you know they're going to come and get you, so you can get ready. So this is my personal understanding. I think that because they over prepared, they said, well, we'll do this and this and this, and then because we've done this, they won't be able to do that. I think they over prepared for it, and the Americans were promised when they go onto this beach, they will walk onto the beach and walk into France because there'll be no one left to fight you. And some people lied about their age, and I'm not lying here, really, there were people who were 15, 16 who lied about their age and said they were 18 and joined the army. In the Pacific Theatre of War, there was one US Marine who had actually turned 18 when he was in the Pacific, when he was actually on an island fighting. So, you know, that happened everywhere, but I know of that particular incident. So, I mean, they weren't just the Americans or just the British or just the Canadians or just Germans or just the French, Polish and Norwegians. I think I don't know. I'm sorry if you're watching this and you're from Norway. I think it's Norwegians. Yeah, they weren't just them, but like you watch war movies, and I've never actually seen a war movie that's actually just the British. Every war movie I've seen is just the Americans. It does annoy me, but it doesn't annoy me. It doesn't piss me off. Okay, it does, but it's not that much. I mean, there are war movies with the British in there. So because of this, the British, before the Americans got involved, the British were fighting in the deserts of North Africa, which many people don't know about, and many of you probably know about something called the SAS, which is the Special Air Service. The Special Air Service were actually formed in 1991. It's a bit late. Were formed in 1941 and were a parachute regiment, Special Air Service, and dropped behind German lines in specially made the American Willys Jeeps. They were specially fitted out for days behind enemy lines, and what the SAS done back then, which is really amazing, really interested me, was drive up and down the desert and attack German airfields. And I can't remember where I seen it, but I really remember seeing it or hearing it, that the SAS, in the time they were doing this, sorry, my nose, in the time they were doing this, destroyed more German aircraft on the ground than the whole the Royal Air Force did through the whole war. So that was obviously a win for the Allies. So once we got off the beaches, we pushed inland, which at this time now, which is coming up to 8:30, we probably were fighting. There were probably soldiers fighting now, which is a bit weird to think about, but yeah. But we got off the beaches and we went into France, and then we went into the Netherlands, and then we went in. We got to Germany in the end, but we let them get Berlin. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it's give you more insight, and please tell your friends, subscribe, and put me on your Facebook.